Everyone wants to be strong. Strong enough to wake up early when motivation is gone. Strong enough to stay disciplined when emotions try to hijack the mind. Strong enough to remain calm when life applies pressure without warning. But almost everyone is chasing the wrong kind of strength. They chase motivation, a temporary feeling that disappears the moment resistance appears. They chase confidence, fragile and dependent on results. They chase intensity, mistaking emotional fire for real power. And when those things fade, they collapse. Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest samurai who ever lived, rejected all of it. He did not build his life on excitement. He did not depend on praise, approval, or comfort. He stripped himself of luxury, attachment, and distraction, not to suffer, but to sharpen. Musashi lived as if nothing external could be trusted. No reputation, no status, no emotion. He fought more than 60 life and death duels, and never lost a single one. Not because he was physically superior, not because he was aggressive, not because he relied on rage or adrenaline, but because his mind was unreachable. While others fought with fear, pride, and desperation, Musashi fought with emptiness. He was internally independent, free from a need to prove, defend, or react. Before his death, Musashi wrote a set of principles known as Detach, not to motivate, not to inspire, but to remove weakness at its root. Rules designed to eliminate emotional dependency, to destroy attachment, to create a mind that cannot be shaken by chaos. This is not ancient philosophy. This is psychological warfare against your own impulses. A method forged in isolation, pressure, and clarity. A Japanese system designed to make you calm under stress, disciplined without motivation, and unbreakable in a world that feeds on distraction. This is not history. This is a weapon. This is the samurai method. And this is Musashi's secret. Chapter 1. Why most people are weak without knowing it. Weakness today doesn't look like failure. It doesn't look like laziness. It doesn't look like giving up. It looks like comfort. It looks like a life filled with convenience, entertainment, and constant stimulation. A life where the mind is never forced to stand still. Weakness today hides behind distraction. Endless scrolling, endless thinking, endless noise filling every silent moment. The modern mind is never at rest, yet never truly focused. Musashi understood something centuries before screens, algorithms, and dopamine addiction existed. Weakness begins the moment you depend on something outside yourself for stability. Praise to feel valuable, results to feel confident, certainty to feel safe, approval to feel calm. The moment these become necessities, the mind becomes fragile. Because life does not guarantee consistency. Pressure arrives without warning. Plans collapse. Effort goes unrewarded. Control disappears. And when something goes wrong, most people follow the same pattern. They panic because they need certainty. They complain because they expect fairness. They blame because responsibility is heavy. They escape because discomfort feels unbearable. This is not failure. This is untrained psychology. Musashi did none of this. Not because he lacked emotion, but because he refused to be ruled by it. He trained himself to remain steady regardless of outcome. Win or loss, praise or silence, certainty or chaos. His strength was internal, not borrowed. He understood a brutal truth. A man who needs circumstances to feel strong is already defeated before the battle begins. Because the world is unpredictable. People are unreliable. Results are temporary. If you're calm, depends on things going your way. Your calm is an illusion. True strength is not intensity. It is not excitement. It is not aggression. It is not emotional force. True strength is non-reactivity. The ability to observe without panic. To act without emotional urgency. To remain grounded when pressure tries to bend you. This is why most people break under stress. They were trained to feel, not to endure. To react, not to decide. To seek comfort, not mastery. Musashi trained the opposite. He trained stillness under chaos, clarity under uncertainty, and independence from external validation. Because when nothing can shake your inner state, nothing can truly control you. And that is the foundation of real strength. Chapter 2. Musashi's core principle, inner independence. Musashi wrote a single line that reveals the foundation of his strength. Accept everything just the way it is. This was not weakness. This was not surrender. This was not passivity. This was mental sovereignty. To accept reality instantly is to remove friction from a mind. Most people lose energy not because life is hard, but because they fight what already exists. This shouldn't have happened. This isn't fair. I should be further by now. These thoughts feel harmless. They are not. They create internal resistance, a silent war between reality and expectation. And in that war, the mind bleeds energy. Musashi eliminated this conflict completely. He did not argue with reality. He did not negotiate with circumstances. He did not wait for life to feel comfortable before acting. Because arguing with reality does not change it. It only delays response. And delay, in combat and in life, is defeat. Instead of emotional protest, Musashi asked one question, and only one. What must be done now? Not tomorrow. Not after reassurance. Not when motivation returns. Now, this question is the essence of inner independence. The moment you ask it, emotion loses authority. Fear becomes background noise. Anger stops directing your behavior. You're no longer reacting, you are deciding. Inner independence means your inner state does not depend on results, praise, control, certainty. You act because action is required, not because conditions feel ideal. This alone separates the strong from the fragile. Most people remain trapped in reaction. They wait for calm before moving. They wait for confidence before acting. They wait for certainty before deciding. Musashi waited for nothing. He moved with clarity even when outcomes were unknown. He stayed calm even when danger was immediate. He remained precise even when emotions surged. That is true acceptance. Not resignation, but alignment. Acceptance removes emotional drag. Clarity returns. Energy becomes available. And when energy is no longer wasted on resistance, it becomes power. This is why inner independence makes you stronger than 90% of people. While others fight reality, you work with it. While others react emotionally, you respond strategically. While others freeze, you move. Calm, precise, unshaken. This is Musashi's core principle. And once you master it, no situation can own your mind again. Chapter 3. Emotional Control, the Real Weapon. Musashi believed emotions were not enemies. He did not try to destroy them. He did not suppress them. He did not pretend they didn't exist. But he understood one critical truth. Emotions are terrible leaders. Fear creates hesitation at the worst possible moment. Anger narrows vision and invites reckless mistakes. Desire creates attachment, and attachment creates vulnerability. On the battlefield, emotional men did not die because they were weak. They died because they reacted. They swung too early. They rushed when patience was required. They froze when clarity was needed. Musashi refused to let emotion sit in command. So he trained emotional neutrality. Not numbness, not coldness, clarity. He felt fear, but did not obey it. He felt anger, but did not express it. He felt desire, but did not chase it. Emotion still existed. It simply lost authority. Modern people do the opposite. They feel discomfort and escape it. They feel anger and broadcast it. They feel fear and retreat from growth. The emotion appears, and action follows automatically. This is not freedom. This is programming. Musashi warned against this long before psychology gave it a name. He taught, you must not let your spirit be influenced by your body. This is discipline, the ability to separate sensation from decision, impulse from action, feeling from command. When your body demands reaction, your mind must remain still. This is where power is forged. Because when you master your reactions, you become unpredictable. You do not respond how people expect. You do not escalate when provoked. You do not collapse when challenged. Your calm becomes unsettling. Others reveal themselves through emotion. You reveal nothing. And that is power. Emotional control is not about becoming passive. It is about choosing the optimal response, not the emotional one. Musashi could wait when others rushed, strike when others hesitated, withdraw when others overcommit. Not because he lacked feeling, but because he was not enslaved by it. In modern life, the battlefield has changed, but the rules have not. Those who react emotionally are easy to manipulate, easy to predict, easy to control. Those who remain neutral under pressure dictate the direction of every encounter. Master your emotional reactions, and you gain something rare, a mind that cannot be rushed, a presence that cannot be provoked, and a strength that does not announce itself. This is the real weapon, and once it is sharpened, everything else becomes secondary. Chapter 4. The discipline of solitude. Musashi lived alone, not because he despised people, not because he was antisocial, but because solitude removes illusion. When you are alone, there's no audience, no validation, no distraction to hide behind. Only you. In solitude, weaknesses surface. You notice restlessness. You confront boredom. You hear the constant noise of your own thoughts, the doubts, the excuses, the fears that remain buried in busy company. This is why most people avoid solitude. Silence is uncomfortable. Stillness feels threatening, because without distraction, there is nowhere to escape. Musashi understood this. He did not treat solitude as isolation. He treated it as training. Solitude was his sharpening stone. He wrote, not to express emotion, but to clarify thought. He trained, not to impress, but to refine precision. He observed his mind, watching impulses rise and fall without obeying them. In solitude, self-deception becomes impossible. You see who you are without the mask, without the role, without the performance. And this is where real strength begins. Most people seek noise to avoid this confrontation. Endless entertainment, endless conversation, endless stimulation, not because they enjoy it, but because it keeps them from seeing themselves clearly. Musashi chose the opposite path. He sat with discomfort. He endured boredom. He allowed silence to expose his limitations. And instead of fleeing, he worked on them. This is why solitude builds power. If you cannot sit alone with your own mind, you are not weak, but you are untrained. Because distraction is not strength, it is avoidance. Strength requires self-confrontation, the willingness to face impatience without escape, to witness fear without reaction, to observe desire without indulgence. In solitude, you learn command over yourself. You learn to act without applause, to think without influence, to exist without needing stimulation. This independence hardens the mind. When you return to the world, noise no longer overwhelms you. Opinions no longer control you. Pressure no longer disturbs your center, because you have already faced yourself and survived. Musashi did not retreat from life. He prepared for it, and solitude was the discipline that made him unshakable. Chapter 5. Relentless practice without motivation. Musashi never trained based on mood. He never waited for excitement, inspiration, or the right moment. He trained based on commitment. Motivation is a fleeting spark. It comes and goes like the wind. It cannot be relied upon in the heat of battle or the grind of life. Discipline, however, is permanent. It is a quiet, steady force that outlasts emotion. It does not need cheering crowds. It does not need pleasure. It does not care whether you feel ready. Every day, Musashi practiced. Tired, bored, uninspired. He swung his sword again and again. He wrote again and again. He walked, observed, meditated, and trained, even when every fiber of his body begged him to stop. Why? Because repetition builds identity. You do not rise to your goals. You fall to your habits. The modern world tells you to feel ready before action, to wait until you are motivated, inspired, or confident, to chase excitement as the precursor to achievement. This is the path to mediocrity. Musashi understood the truth. Mastery is forged in consistency, not emotion. His discipline was unshakable because it did not depend on feeling good. He did not negotiate with his will. He did not bargain with comfort. He simply acted, and in that relentless action, he became unbreakable. Warriors act regardless. They do not wait for stars to align or emotions to peak. They do not postpone mastery for comfort. They move, they practice, they endure every day because excellence is built in the invisible hours when no one is watching. This is why most people fail. They wait to feel ready. They wait for passion to strike. They wait for motivation to return. And life moves on without them. Musashi teaches a different path. A path where strength is grown in boredom. Where excellence is forged in repetition. Where mastery is a habit, not a feeling. Discipline becomes the foundation of identity. The mind becomes unshakable. The body becomes precise. The spirit becomes relentless. This is the samurai method in practice. To act without reliance on fleeting emotion. To commit without reward. To become unbreakable, regardless of how you feel. This is the difference between the distracted and the unstoppable. Chapter 6. Detachment from outcomes. Musashi wrote a deceptively simple line. Do not have preferences. At first, it seems harsh, cold, apathy even, but it is nothing of the sort. This is not indifference. It is freedom. When you cling to outcomes, to victory, recognition, or validation, your mind becomes a prisoner. Fear rises. Every mistake looms larger than it is. Performance falters under imagined pressure. Your mind tightens like a bowstring ready to snap. Musashi understood this instinctively. He detached from winning itself. He did not measure success by outcomes. He did not define his worth by results. Instead, he focused on execution. Every strike precise. Every step deliberate. Every action present. The process became the battlefield. Not the applause. Not the trophy. Not the judgment of others. This is the paradox of detachment. By letting go of attachment to results, you gain control. By freeing yourself from desire for approval or outcome, your mind becomes calm, even in chaos. By abandoning preference, you act with clarity. Ironically, this is what produces excellence. The strongest people do not need results to remain centered. They do not collapse when plans fail. They do not rejoice prematurely when fortune favors them. They train, execute, and respond, and let the outcomes fall where they may. Musashi fought dozens of duels with this mindset. He never panicked. He never overreached. He never allowed the pressure of expectation to sway him. The mind that detaches from outcome cannot be shaken. The body that follows such a mind cannot be misled. The spirit that acts without attachment cannot be broken. Modern life is full of distractions and demands. People tie their self-worth to promotions, likes, or fleeting victories. They're enslaved by preferences. Musashi's lesson is radical. Excellence does not require obsession with results. Calm, precise execution does. Detach from the outcome. Focus only on the present action. Trust your training. Results will follow, or they will not. But your mind remains unshaken. Your spirit remains free. This is the essence of the samurai method. Detachment is not weakness. It is power. And mastery is born from freedom. Musashi was not strong because he fought. He fought well because he was strong. Most people believe strength is measured in action, in intensity, in noise, in visible force. But true strength is quieter. It is calm. It is grounded. It is unshakable. A calm mind is dangerous. It sees what others cannot see. It moves while others hesitate. It acts while others react. A disciplined mind is unstoppable. It does not depend on motivation. It does not bend under criticism, chaos, or pressure. It follows the path without complaint. It executes without hesitation. You don't need more motivation. You need fewer excuses. Walk the path. Practice daily, regardless of how you feel. Detach from outcomes. Master your reactions. Embrace solitude. Accept reality exactly as it is. These are not abstract ideas. These are tools. Weapons forged in centuries of discipline and clarity. This is the Japanese method. The samurai method. Musashi's secret. The world will not wait for you to feel ready. Life will not pause while you gather courage or confidence. If you want mastery, you must step forward, even when you do not feel strong. Every step matters. Every repetition counts. Every moment of stillness, reflection, and focus builds the foundation of an unbreakable mind. Those who walk this path learn something few ever experience. Freedom, power, presence. Because a mind that cannot be shaken, a body that responds without hesitation, and a spirit that acts without attachment. These are the true marks of strength. This is the method that Musashi left behind, not as a story to admire, but as a system to practice. If this video sharpened your awareness, like it, subscribe, and comment Musashi below. The path is open, but only for those willing to walk it. The choice is yours. Continue reacting to the world, or step into the discipline, calm, and focus that make a human truly dangerous. Musashi's secret is not about swords or duels. It is about mastery over yourself. Walk the path. Train relentlessly. Detach. Control. Become unshakable. And in that calm, you will discover your real strength.